Just a quick one today, guys. Set the hammock up on the top and decided to get some, like, you know, trail grub on, right? Nothing special. Got my 1.2 litre pot. Got the wood chips in there this time. And it looks harder, like a rocket stove type of thing, isn't it? Right? Gas fire, or whatever they call it. I love this thing. Absolutely love it. Only thing I don't like about it is you can't adjust the heat. So if things are starting to burn, you've got to take them off, you know, and put to one side, give it a quick stir type of thing. Alright? So all I've got in there at the moment is some mushrooms in some oil, frying up. All I'm going to do with that then, I'm going to chuck a couple of packs of noodles in there and some water and some curry powder. Let that come up. And then I got a tin of mackerel fillet, which are my favourite then, to put in. So yeah, I think, well, I know it's going to be bloody delicious. There's these things. Right, tin of mackerel fillets. Cheap, innit? Right, taste amazing. I always get the ones in spring water or olive oil. Because I don't know about the rest of you online these days, reading things about seed oils and stuff. So I haven't had any seed oils now in nearly 2 years. Giving up sugar, so I use honey instead of sugar. Yeah, I'm not going to go too deep into all that stuff, but yeah, these will be going in just as the noodles are coming up to being done. So I'll get some curry powder in there now with the curry powder with the mushrooms. Let that cook through for a minute to release the spices. See, that's burning now, so I'm going to take it off. Yeah, let that cook through to release the spices, and then whack some water in there, bring the water up to the boil, chuck the noodles in, and as soon as the noodles are almost cooked, chuck the mackerel in, and it'll be yeah, pretty much be time to eat then. So I see these are starting to stick now, so that needs a little bit of water in there now. Which cooking is one of my passions actually, which is why I know that I wish I had a way of controlling the heat on this gasifier stove. But there we are. Can't, so you just got to make do. Right, so I'm going to put a little drop of water in, just to stop the mushrooms from burning too much. Give them a stir. Right, and then our water's going to start to boil and sizzle now, which means it's time for the curry powder. I found this in my local shop, Funky Soul Spices curry powder. I love it as hot as it can get. This is nowhere near that. There's a very, very, very slight nip to it. That's all I got on me. I haven't got any hot curry powder with me, or chilli powder, or hot sauce, or nothing like that. So, not a very well thought out day so far, but we'll make the best of it. So I'm going to get a nice drop of that in there. Right, probably a tablespoon or so. Put another teaspoon in for good measure. Don't want to take it too lightly, do we? And oh, the smell now. Oof. Okay. That's making my gums water now. So what I did have in the house that I should have brought with me was a bloody tin of tomatoes. That would have gone lovely in there. And that would have been my juice then, you know. But there we are. Never mind. I've got the cheap Maggie noodles that you can get these days in Lidl. I mean, what are they, like bloody £2 for 4 packs or something like that, aren't they? One chicken, one curry. These will do the job. So get these, what I always do is get them all scrunched up first, then open it, pull the packet out, the seasoning packet, you know, like that. That's, if you can find it, there it is. Okay, get the seasoning packet out. Right, that's going to start to burn now, because the water's evaporated. So I'll put that back on in a sec. Like I said, just crunch them up. I mean, some people don't like doing that. I do it with my spaghetti when I'm cooking like bolognese dishes and all that, right? I snap the spaghetti in half so it goes in more evenly into the pan. But if you do it in front of an Italian, you're in bloody trouble. It's like sacrilege if you snap your spaghetti. But I imagine, well, I don't know whether this is sacrilege to, you know, like an Asian person who eat noodles all the time. But there we are. Okay, before that starts to burn the spices, we'll try that. Give that a stir up. So we need that to come to the boil now, so we can add the noodles. Might need a little bit more water than that actually, but I'll chuck these seasoning packets in now as well. Make sure to take all my rubbish home with me. Chuck that straight in my rucksack. So there's one, there's two. So that's the chicken and a curry. Give that another stir up. Oh, excuse me. The spice got my nose in. There we are. Right. So what we'll do with that now? Right. I think that needs another little drop of water. I must have put about 300 mils in. I want a little bit of juice, so we'll just give it another glug, just for good measure. That's another thing. Nalgene bottles that fit in the American GI canteen cup. Oh, I love these things. Honestly, I could do a whole bloody I could do a whole video on these. I did have 3. I gave one to my brother-in-law, my son-in-law, but these are fantastic. Right, give that another quick stir up. Then get the lid on, so that'll help it to come to temperature quicker. So what I'll do, I'll just pause the video for a sec, and then I'll bring you back when I'm whacking the noodles and that in there, right? See you in a bit. Right, welcome back. That only took like 2 minutes. The wind's just picked up. Lucky I'm underneath, I got a 4x4 DD tarp over my hammock there, so there we are. The steam is bollocking out there now, innit? Right, so let's get that lid off. Put them to one side. Right, that should die down a little bit now, those bubbles. So now we know how liquid's boiling. We can whack the noodles in. There's one. There's two. Put the rubbish away. Give that a stir. This is probably one of the favourite things, most favourite things I've bought. There's a long handle titanium spoon. That could do with being bigger, right? The spoon part could do with being bigger, so it'd hold a bit more. But I mean, if you're in a pinch, that's fantastic. So it's great for cooking with as well, especially if you've got a deeper pot. This one's not too bad, but this is still great for getting down there. There we are. That needs to be taken off out of it now. Look, it'd be great if I had a way of controlling the heat on this, but like I said, you can't. So we just got to take it off from time to time. Let it calm down a bit. I mean, to be perfectly honest, right, these noodles now, you could probably just put the lid on this, leave them to one side, and they'd be cooked in 5 minutes. So you probably wouldn't need to put them back on. But you probably want a bit of that juice to boil away. So I'm just gonna carry on doing that. Obviously you can see the moisture evaporating off there, right, as it's boiling. But also the dry noodles will soak up quite a lot of that water as well. So we'll end up with less juice than we put in, which is what we want. But yeah, this would be fantastic if you had a way of controlling the heat. If there was something you could slide across. I'm sure you could make something, you know. A little bit like the lid, the simmer ring on the Trangia stoves. I'm sure you could fashion something just with a bit of a handle on to like poke in there from the side, you know, like I'm doing with the spoon there. Just poke it in there, maybe cover half of where the flame comes out from. Because like this, like you say, you know, there's no control in the heat, so you are going to burn things that don't have a lot of liquid. But you know, if you got like your steel skillet or whatever on there, you want to get that up to temperature, and then there's nothing better, is there, really? You know, it's even better than using an open fire because you can stand it on there flat. And then, like mine's got quite a long handle, as it needs to have, you know, for cooking in fires and what have you. So it tends to be a bit handle heavy, but I mean, once you've got your sausages and what have you in there anyway, the weight of the food will help to counterbalance that. So it's all good. There we are. I can feel these noodles now are cooking nicely. So I'm just going to leave that boil for a bit. There's not much chance of it boiling over now. I'll leave that boil for a couple of minutes, and then I'll open up the mackerel fillets. I'll whack them in as well. I might even just leave the spring water in there, you know, and I can break it up with a spoon once it's in, or I could just use, once I open it now, take the lid off, I could use a knife to break up the fillet. Yeah, that'll probably be best, I think. But these I absolutely love. And like I said, I stay away from the oils now, unless it's olive, coconut, real butter, ghee. Did I say coconut? Yeah, probably. Or your animal fats, you know, your beef tallow, or as we in the UK call it, beef dripping. The Americans call it tallow. Lard, another great thing to cook in. There's been too much said over the decades about having a low-fat diet and all that malarkey, right? I don't believe a word of it. If that was the case, and we've all slowly been turned onto lower fat diets over the last 30, 40, 50 years, how come everybody's sicker than they were back then? Now you've got your saturated oils, hydrogenated vegetable oil in loads of things, seed oils. Yeah. I'd rather trust an old book that was written 60 years ago than trust anything to do with the modern pharmaceutical society, to be perfectly honest. You know, it's almost like their job is to keep you sick, innit? There we go, that's just my view. Let's not get all controversial. Right, I'm just going to break up these fillets. There we are. Right, just break them up in the tin. And then I'm going to whack them in there with the rest of the dish. That one's a bit big. Oh, you'll be alright. You could break it up as you're pulling it out. Look, it breaks up really easily. This is my favourite fish of all time. I love my fishing. I love trout. I love salmon. I pretty much love all fish. But if you want to pin me down on one, mackerel is and always has been my favourite. When I was a kid, my parents had a caravan in Pembrokeshire in West Wales, and my dad was a scuba diver along with all his mates, and all us kids were roughly the same age and stuff as well. You know, we'd spend pretty much the whole summer down the caravan, and on the weekends then, you know, the men would go to work in the week and then come back on the weekend, and they had their own dive boat, probably 5 or 6 of them. They all had kids, so all the friends I remember from years ago. And then when the boys would be diving on the boat, probably in pairs or in threes, like 3 would go down first and they'd do their dive and come back up then with a massive haul of like lobster, crab, scallops, all that stuff. And then us lads would be fishing for mackerel with hand lines off the back of the boat. So that was the first fish I ever caught in the net myself, was a mackerel. And then as I got older then started fishing down the river and what have you, and then I was into the trout and the suing, and I haven't caught a salmon, mind, unfortunately. But yeah, so seafood, absolutely fantastic. Best thing ever is, to me, my favourite thing ever to eat that I've made myself is scallops wrapped in good quality smoky bacon, chucked on a barbecue on skewers. And then when the crispy bacon, because you can't overcook scallops, but a good indicator is when the crispy bacon is good and crispy, then the scallop is cooked. Because you can eat them raw if you want to. I haven't tried it. But yeah. So seafood, and if you mix, my other favourite food is is Indian, is curry. So when you mix the two, seafood and Indian curry, then that's me done then. You know, that's the best stuff of all time. So I'm just going to keep giving this a little bit of a stir to stop that mackerel from catching on the bottom, which I think it's going to start to do soon. Now that's probably, although I haven't got any bread or anything with me to dip in it, that's probably the amount of sauce that I prefer. I'll give it another minute or so. Just enough time to show you that. Now, anybody who watches Greencraft, Bushcraft channel, British fella, Neil, it's really, really good, really informative. He's been doing it for donkey's years, you know, running a business and that. He turned me onto this. I've always liked my oppanels, but I've always ended up snapping the bloody tips off stupidly, especially in cold weather. This one is the number 8 garden knife. It's a little bit bigger than the number 7, which I normally use. As you can see there on the ferrule, it's number 8. Works in exactly the same way, right? You twist the ferrule to lock it. Unfortunately for us in the UK, the fact that you can lock that, even though the blade is 3 inches or under, the fact that you can lock the blade makes it illegal to carry in your pocket in the UK. It's not an EDC, which is a shame, because I absolutely love this knife. I tend to use this mainly for food prep, because it is excellent for food prep. It's razor sharp. It's a lovely thin blade. I mean, I have, you know, done a few little bits and bobs on sticks and what have you, but I always make sure to give it a tickle on a leather belt afterwards. But yeah, it fits lovely in the hand, you know, it's cracking. Yeah, number 8 garden knife, and they're not expensive. So anybody looking for a new Opinel, I advise you to check out, it's great. Then just to close it in, turn the ferrule, go that, turn it back like that, and then when you put it away, it's not going to open in your pocket, you know, when you're out in the field and stuff. Right, that I would say is cooked to perfection. It's just starting to catch on the bottom, so I'm not going to cook it any more than that. That now is how it should be. So anyway, I'm going to eat this now, leave it cool for a minute, eat it, and then I'll bring you back and I'll show you the rest of my setup, alright? Catch you in a bit. Right, I'm back now after eating that. It was lovely, fair play. Right, so this is my hammock setup at the moment. It's a little bit of a tricky one because I'm on a slant, so it's running from left to right as we look at it now, or if you're standing up there, it's running uphill, right? So it's a bit tricky with the tarp. To try and get it even is very, very difficult. You know, a lot of trial and error. It's not perfect at the moment. The right hand side of the tarp is closer to the hammock than the left hand side one is. It's just the way it is at the moment, unfortunately. And I didn't want to have it any further up than that. I mean, there's plenty of ventilation, right, all the way around, absolutely plenty. And that's basically how it is. A bit of a mess in it at the moment because I've just been cooking, but yeah, so that's pretty much it. So that is the One Wind 12-foot extra wide, which I absolutely love. And it comes with the One Wind straps as well, these ones here, right? Which, I mean, you can adjust these to the millimetre, as opposed to if you've got, you know, your standard tree straps, right? Which have got the links so far down, you know, a lot more difficult to adjust very well. This one comes with the ridge line on, and you can use that as well. So what I basically did, I got my perfect hang the way I like it, and then I tightened the ridge line to where once that ridge line's tight, I know I've got the hang the way I like it. Alright, which means, because I'm a side sleeper, the way I've got it now, I can turn on my side, go sort of corner to corner. It's a lot more difficult with the underblanket and everything on their mind, with the underquilt, but it can be done. So at the moment, yeah, this is the 12-foot extra wide. Somewhere called it a double. Yeah, like I don't see how a double hammock's going to work at all. But anyway, this is a 12-foot extra wide. I've also got the One Wind under blanket or the underquilt and top quilt. And I only put the top quilt on it the other day. My wife bought it for me, the top quilt, back in October for my birthday, and I didn't really use it because it started getting really cold then. So I was having like, what do you call it? Not the Arctic bag, but the medium weight Polish army bag, or the Dutch army bag, whatever it was, which is really, really warm. I was just chucking that in there with the underquilt, and that was perfect for me. Then it's got really cold. The nights are freezing at the moment. We're having frost pretty much every morning, which is why I put the underquilt, or the top quilt on it. But what I didn't realise was that, let me just make a bit of room here a minute. I'm going to get my sit pad out of the way. So I've done that. This doesn't come like that. I've just done that to keep it closed when I'm not using it. So I put those two little carabiners on there. So basically, here's your underquilt. Now, the poppers, I was trying to pop it together to keep it closed, but they didn't work very well. And I thought, oh, that's a bit of a swizz. I'm not all that happy about that, but they're not for that. They are for the top quilt to button to. And then that, I'll just take my carving set out there a sec. Top quilt buttons to those poppers, all the way up. Right, they're about every, what are they? Every 10 inches or so. Right, there we are, good snap on that. That button's in there. Then pull this out. That's your top quilt. So pull that all the way over and then jump in and then pull your top quilt back over, and this then in turn buttons to the poppers on the underquilt. I mean, it's cosy as hell. The only thing I didn't realise when the missus asked me, what do you want for your birthday? I said, oh, well, I wanted this top quilt. What I wish I'd said was, or what I wish I'd looked for, is a top quilt with a foot box. Because if you slide down in the night, your feet are going to come out from underneath the quilt. Now, it is plenty long. I'm 6'2", well, just a bit over 6'2". And I haven't come out of it yet. But I think if you're fidgeting a lot, or you haven't got your hang quite right, your feet could end up coming out the end. Now, in there as well, and I only put it in there yesterday, I have got my Dutch Army summer weight bag. So with that now, and this top quilt on, even though it's getting down below zero now in, you know, the early hours of the morning, I still think you're going to be toast in there. I'm just waiting to give it a try. Things have gone a little bit pear-shaped for me lately. I've lost my job. But there we are. These things happen, don't they? And so I was made redundant a fortnight ago. And I haven't been able to find anything yet. It's really quiet. But there we are. I'll find something. It'll be all good. But yeah, so that's basically my my hammock setup. And then this over the top end is the multicam 4x4 metre DD tarp. And incidentally, when I was cooking earlier on, I noticed there, I don't know if you can make this out right, there's a tiny ass hole there, just there, and I haven't got any Gorilla Tape with me, so I'll bring some down, well, either later on or tomorrow, and just plug that hole. But yeah, I'll show you what it looks like from the outside. It's not perfect, like I said, because the trees are quite close together, and it's on a slant. Right, so this is the back end. I haven't used all the tie-out points. So here we go. This is the back end, right? And I don't like pulling it all at taut anymore. I'd rather it flap around a little bit. And what I am going to get, I'm going to get some elasticated rope. And I'm going to tie pieces of elasticated rope to these tie-out points that I can then attach my lines to, because I wanted to have some flex. Because I haven't put it on a video yet, but my 4x4 DD tarp, basically that whole area there ripped out not long back, which I'm not happy about. I'm currently trying to get in touch with DD to ask if it can be repaired professionally, because I don't want to go, you know, 50 odd quid now, aren't they? Yeah, so there's the side. Because the wind is blowing this way today, at there, I've just done that. I mean, if I had some clothes pegs or crocodile clips, I could crimp it right up, you know. But I've just used a bit of bank line to tie those two loops together, basically. Yeah, and there's a tree strap toggle system on my line. Yeah, it could all be made better. This tree is really not in the best position. I'm telling you now. This tree is a pain in the arse. Well, it's pretty much 4 trees out of 1 stump. Right, it's always in the way, this one. And this is the other side. There you go. So there's the whole thing. And there's where I get in. Just there now. That's a little spot I was cooking in just now. So yeah, I haven't gone far, as usual. This is our alpaca field. There's my fire and everything there, all ready to go. And I am stood under, because it started to rain today, you know. Stood at that British Army basher, which has been up there for now, Christ, how long? 6 months easy, I think. I have got this on bungees because I didn't want to damage it. And I gotta be honest, I don't think you can damage this thing. These are bionic. Unbelievable. There we are. Shelter sheet. It's seen some weather. It's been up all winter, basically, and there's no sign of it breaking anywhere. I have looked at it regularly. I got it on bungees, so that helps a bit, you know, with the tension and everything. If the wind blows, then, you know, with the bungee system, you get a bit of flex. And I've just got it tied up to a branch at the top there to give you a bit more headroom inside. So yeah, I feel a bit guilty sleeping in there tonight because it's a school night. I'm doing everything I can to find work. Unfortunately, after spending 23 years in Plymouth, most of my contacts now for work are down there, and moving back's out of the question. So the other thing that's bugging me at the moment is everything these days is done online, innit? Fill an application online, send your CV online, you know, no phone numbers. I'm old school, I like to talk to people. You know, if I want a job, I want to visit that particular foreman or site manager or whatever, and, you know, and have a conversation with them. Not fill out crap online. But there we are. I think you're doing my mental health good. I'm suffering a little bit at the moment because I've lost my job. I think it's inevitable that you're going to be a little bit down in the dumps, aren't you? It's pretty inevitable. But there we are, onwards and upwards. I'm sure it won't take long. Luckily for me, the missus, you know, she's in a good job, so she's keeping us tidied over at the moment, which I feel guilty about that as well, being a bloke, you know. But hey ho, not a lot has changed. Like I said, she earns good money, so it's just concentrate now on getting myself back into work. Let me turn it around a sec. Go, there he is. Ugly mug is back. Anyway, I wasn't going to film today. I just thought, because I had the tripod there in my rucksack, I thought, oh, I might as well, innit? I might as well film it. But I decided to film it after I started cooking. What can I say? It's one of those things. So yeah, anybody who lives close to me in South Wales, we got any work for somebody who knows his way around the buildings, maintenance and all that stuff, then give us a message. I'm not getting desperate yet, you know. Money will run out soon, but there we are. So yeah, that's it for today. Check out that Opinel garden knife, the number 8 garden knife. I really recommend. I think it's about 16 quid at the moment. I bought one. Oh god, it must have been back. It would have been the summer or the end of the summer. I bought one, and my mum and dad was around the house visiting one day, and he's like me. He's a bugger for knives. And I said, "Hey, have a look at this, Dad." He said, "Oh, it's cracking. Where'd you get that from?" I said, "Have it. I'll order another one." So I gave that one to the old man, and I ordered a new one. So he's got one and I've got one. But like for food prep, because it's a sharp, fine blade, it'd probably be quite good for skinning. It's not very flexible, mind, and you know, for a good skinning blade, if you know, skinning a deer or something like that, you need a bit of flex in the blade, really, don't you? But I find it brilliant. But because it's under 3 inches, there's a few Opinels that are under a 3-inch blade. If you didn't know, don't be tempted to carry them in your pocket when you're out and about, because they're not everyday carry. Because of the locking mechanism, you can turn that. You turn the metal ferrule on it, and that locks the blade in position, so that makes him illegal to carry in the UK. And that's everywhere in the UK, whether it's England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, doesn't matter. So yeah, just bear that in mind, because my everyday carry is Swiss Army knife, which I absolutely love, and mainly for the toothpick, which I mentioned before. The toothpick and the little scissors, absolutely brilliant. But there we are. So I'm going to let you go now anyway. This video wasn't an informational video or anything like that. I was bored, and I thought I haven't done one for a few weeks, so I'll just sort of say hello. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all in work. You know, and none of you lost your jobs. My issue was that the company I work, we're not going to mention company names. The company I work for merged with another company, and I was on a temporary contract which had already been extended for 6 months. And right up until the merge happened, I was pretty positive that I was going to be, you know, kept on full time, because you know, I don't miss any time. I know how to do my job properly. But alas, what happens when companies merge? The new MDs then, they're all like, right, we need to make some savings here and there, and you know, we just numbers to them, and they so didn't we? So they just cut jobs and they trimming the fat, they call it. But what they need to start doing is trimming the fat at their level, isn't it? You know, upper management. That's what I reckon, because it's us guys on the ground that make all the bloody money for these swines a bit further up. We're the ones just doing all the work. And yeah, it makes me a little bit bitter, as you can probably tell. It makes me a little bit bitter about it all, because those buggers up there with their fat bonuses and the big houses and posh cars and all that malarkey, yeah, they never seem to lose their jobs, do they? It's always the guys on the ground, like. But there we are. Never mind. I'm not going to try and bring you down. Bring you down. Just starting to get a bit depressing, isn't it? I'm going to go now. I'm going to leave you to it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Just saying hello and, you know, a quick video. Unbelievable, isn't it? It's a Monday and I'm not in work. Right, I'm going to go and cry into my soup, and I will see you in the future. I'll have to think about what kind of video to do next. Yeah, I mean, make a suggestion, you know, make a comment, make a suggestion. What kind of video would you like to see? Because there's so many people doing what I do, you know, and I have not been doing it that long. They've been doing it a lot longer. Most of the things are covered, aren't they? You know, and it's hard to think of a subject. I mean, the subject matter is all the same. Anybody who does the bushcraft outdoor stuff, you know, all the equipment and the lovely view and clothing and all that malarkey. Like I don't think I've done anything on clothing. But if you've got any suggestions of what you'd like to see, whether it's, you know, views from a really nice hike, because we've got a high valley all around us, yeah, and the views from up the top of them are incredible, you know. And the road that I live on is well known in the cycling community. I know. It's well known in the cycling community, and as soon as you got nice weather, it is rammed with cyclists. Now, controversial, possibly. Cyclists, not my favourite thing, because when I'm driving, I'm always going somewhere, and I don't want to be delayed. Although I normally give myself plenty of time for my journeys, like if I'm working and what have you, like, you know. I don't like being on a 60-mile-an-hour road, right? Like this one is where I live. Well, not right where I live, that's 20. But as you go half a mile past my house, it opens up and there's no houses there, and it's a 60-mile-an-hour road. And people come up from all over the country to cycle it. But if you're like me, and you know, I don't want to be on a road stuck doing 8 mile an hour when I need to get to work, or I'm looking forward to going fishing, or I'm going camping, I'm meeting the boys, or what have you. Like, I don't like that. I don't like being stuck behind them. And I know that the highway code states that they should, if there's more than one, well, there has to be more than one of them to ride two abreast. But they also say that the one on the outside needs to be close to the middle of the road, and then that in turn makes sense, mind, makes the driver behind have to do a full overtaking manoeuvre, you know, as if you were overtaking a car then, but obviously at a much lesser speed. So I get that, but yeah, they bless them, you know, it's their hobby and stuff, and they're not hurting anybody, they're not damaging the environment. But I live on, because I'm in Wales, and we got a lot of 20-mile-an-hour roads. Mine is 20, and for good reason. There's not much room on there, but they come off that 60-mile-an-hour road because it's a big hill down past my house at 40 mile an hour. And I'm like, well, what's the difference between, you know, a little kiddie running out in the road and getting hit by a 40-mile-an-hour push bike, or a car at 20? The car at 20 probably do less damage, right? So what I'm not going to say is I haven't thought about, you know, stringing up a cable across the road or anything like that. I really haven't. They were, hey, I'm digressing again. I'm going to have bloody waffles because I haven't seen you for so long. Anyway, I'm going to go because I'm waffling. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Be sure to get up and get out, even if the weather's crap. I mean, it's picking here now. It's forecast to be a little bit heavier later on. I may well end up sleeping down here. I don't know yet. But anyway, right, I'll see you later, guys. All right, take it easy. Ta-ra.